Round one.
Welcome back to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. It's our last segment of the year 2016. My name is Steve Johnson, Aurelio Martinez. 2016 was a good year for boxing. Not overall, but we had some good moments and some things that are good indications that are for 2017 and beyond. Aurelio, Merry Christmas. This T-shirt you've got, I want to tell the Martinez kids, good on some parts, the other ones leave out. Cool.
That was my birthday present, okay? That was my birthday present for my
Oh, that's right. His birthday is his
okay?
and baby Jesus, the same birthday.
And what does it say? It says Grandpa, the man, the myth,
the
and the legend. Okay?
The legend. But that's what grandkids do. They pump Grandpa up. But anyway, Radio, let's talk about what are some of your favorite things of 2016 in the sport of boxing.
Well, let's start with because the good things that happened in 2016 was boxers themselves that came into the picture, and it's a good indication of what we're going to see in boxing. We've kind of laid to rest some of the older stuff that I'll get into pretty soon, because that's also a good in its oddball way. But let's talk about fighters. Let's talk about fighters that came into their own, and they kind of came into the scene. And you got the Charlo brothers, okay? You got Keith Thurman. You've got Errol Spence, which really should prove to bring a lot of excitement to the game. But we're talking about fighters that are they're like, I want to say, old school. They're coming with pride, with honor. They're coming with I'm going to show you that I'm the best, and they honestly and truly believe they're the best, and they're not just grabbing that golden spoon saying, hey, I made it to the networks, I made it to the exposure, now I'm going to milk it. Okay, so that should be a strong indication, Steve, that we've got some good things to come. Okay, so
I agree.
That's a good thing.
I agree, and probably looking towards 2017 from 2016, the fact that Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman are going to fight in 2017
yes,
is really a good indication of two guys who, Danny Garcia, to be honest, Radio has been under the gun for not wanting to fight. Okay, they're the top guys.
Yeah.
Just stepping up here to Keith Thurman, and it's already gotten ugly. Okay,
yeah.
And so this fight will probably be one that, right off the top of my head, I'm going to say 2017 will be Fight of the Year candidate. But going back to what's good in good fights, we had a lot of good guys that came up. Names that we're familiar with, such as Steven Nelson from Omaha, Robert Brandt from Minnesota. These are guys now that they've caught the attention of fight fans nationwide, and they're good fighters. And I think that, like you said, Sean Porter is still a guy that he's
still in the mix, man.
Well, he's like Timothy Bradley. He's not an easy out.
Well,
you don't hear his name coming out of a lot of people's mouths.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No one wants to fight him because he's a true warrior.
Yes.
Okay. Bradley, on the other hand, was questionable. No,
I think he was. He just
he was personally himself was great and all, but he wasn't a fan favorite. No, he wasn't a fan favorite. He didn't produce the viewership. He didn't have a whole lot of people on his bandwagon for whatever reason. But I'm talking about these new kids coming up, and then you mentioned about Steve Nelson. There's a lot of new guys that just entered the pro rankings, but they still have a lot to prove. Personally, myself, I'm a little disappointed with Steve Nelson. Not him personally, but the way his management is running him, because he's a better fighter. He should be taking that route like Errol Spence, okay, and coming in domination. But instead, he's coming in fighting super subpar opponents, which to me doesn't grab the public the way he should. I mean, he's got the name, he's got the clientele, he's got the background, he's got everything needed. But if he's going to waste 2 years of fighting subpar opponents, then we probably won't hear about Steve Nelson for another 24, 36 months.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I don't know, but you know what? We're stuck here because I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
Well,
you said he's fighting super subpar opponents.
Absolutely.
Steven Nelson just turned pro.
Yep.
I believe his record now is either 4-5-0. Okay, and he's fought guys that have been recognized as guys that are not like you said super subpar. I don't know where you got that from, but he's not. I think it would be ashamed for anybody to take somebody that's got relatively good record and and just shoot them in there against upper tier competition.
Well, I'm
right
not
off
saying
the
upper
bat.
tier. I'm saying.
Well, who do you want him to fight?
I'm talking about, but naturally you want to give your boxer, the opponent, the advantage. Call it the A side, the B side, whatever they call it nowadays in boxing. It's been that way. But obviously you want to introduce them to the public where they start to grab that fan base.
He's already got that.
Where?
In Omaha. He's already got that in Omaha.
Well, everyone gets their fan base locally. Everyone.
No,
No
that's
matter.
not true. That's
People
not
in
true.
New Mexico that turned pro in New Mexico, they got their fan base in
When's
New
the last
Mexico.
time you had a
Yeah.
pro fight card, a championship, world championship pro fight card in New Mexico? Thank you very much. Terrence Crawford.
Let me tell you, the only reason
Steve
you're having
Nelson
okay.
is
Well,
part
let's not get away from
Well,
the
wait a
good.
minute,
But
no,
we're
no,
talking about
you
that.
brought
The only
this up.
reason you're having the fights in Omaha is because you got Terrence Crawford.
Exactly. Well, that's
Okay,
what I'm
that's it.
saying. But,
Okay.
but let me step back a little bit, okay? Here's another guy. Let me bring up, Mike Reed,
Yep.
from Waldorf, Maryland.
Yes,
Mike
indeed,
Reed,
Reed.
he's also a signee as Steve Nelson of Top Rank.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have both said for years, Top Rank knows how to move their guys
They
along.
do.
So
They
why
do.
all of a sudden are you cracking on Steve Nelson? That's all right. We'll just leave that alone. Let me move on. Let me talk about.
Yeah, let's move
Let-
along.
let-
You
let's
you
do-
guys
because-
can go out there and
don't
check
worry.
records. You can see who they've been
Don't
fighting.
worry,
You
don't
can
worry.
make your own. You can make your own decisions.
Guys,
okay?
you don't fight
Okay?
anybody of any caliber or that you remotely consider a threat until you close to double digits.
No,
okay?
you know that's wrong.
8-0,
You fight to
9-0.
show that you're going to be someone in boxing because that's the sport that you chose.
If you're 2-0 and you take on a guy that's 6-6, you're a fool.
No.
Anyway,
6 and
let's move on.
6.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you take guys that are 6 and 6.
No, you don't. No,
You
you
bet.
don't.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Okay.
okay, we've got. Let me mention also, like I said, we got Mike Reed in there. Robert Brandt. Robert Brandt is a guy that that I'm very well familiar with, and I didn't think Robert was going to do it as well as he has in the pros.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a little belt. I think he has an NABF title right now, and
Yep.
and kudos to him. But like we said, we've got a lot of young blood, and my thing that I'm excited about is that it seems like these guys are not afraid to step up their level of competition.
And that's the
what
good.
we want to have in
That's the
2017.
good that we've seen in 2016.
Okay.
We've seen a lot of young, new blood coming in that are hungry, that want to fight, and that will fight. And they will bring boxing back to boxing.
Real quick,
Good.
Aurelio, can you name to me what your favorite female fight of 2016 was?
No.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
Did you see any female fights? in
No, I
2016?
saw a couple of them that were on cards, but like I say, no. We're going to talk about that in a future segment episode about what females have to do to get recognized.
Well, we'll talk that about our 2017 segment.
but
We're
we-
going to have to.
we-
But let me just real quick say that in 2016, I do have to say this. Okay, another good thing that happened is finally USA Boxing got a medal in the Olympics. Okay, Shakur Stevenson.
Oh
you know,
yeah, those
who just signed with Rock Nation. He got a silver medal.
another good for boxing. Another good topic. Yes.
I don't know if that's good for boxing or not because I'm still of the belief
Well,
that
good for 2016. That's what we're talking about.
I'm just saying that it was good to have that happen. Not about him signing, but I'm saying it was good to have the United States finally get a medal because that had been the albatross on the United States' neck for the last 3 Olympics, as they only had one medalist in the last 3 Olympics. And Shakur, congratulations to you. The other good thing is that we had a couple of our Olympians, males,
Yep.
that were signed to promotional contracts. We also had one female that was signed to a
Yeah,
professional
but we
contract.
don't know if that's
That was
good for
Marlon Esparza.
2016. I mean, we're talking about
It's
what's
a good thing that
what
happened in
in
2016.
Well, I don't know if it's good.
Why?
But because I don't. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't.
It was good to have them
we
come
don't-
out and get signed.
we-
What's wrong with
Well, it
that?
was good for them, okay? But listen,
Yeah.
we're running out of time. We want to
Why
talk
do
about
you, every time I
real
bring up
good
something,
things.
why we run out of time?
Well, because we're talking about what happened good in 2016. Now the boxing world all across the country, they don't know about your Marlon Esparza.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
They
McDonald's
do.
does. I mean, no.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so
Revlon
Revlon,
does.
McDonald's, all that stuff. Okay, ESPN's the magazine where they took pictures naked
Editor
and shit.
at
Okay?
InsideBoxing.com for
so
all
what I'm
of your
saying is, I
complaints.
want to keep on the strong points, not.
That's a strong point.
The 2016. We got 10 seconds left, so obviously we're not going to get into what I wanted to talk about was the crooked things not crooked, but the negative things that turned out to be good things in 2016. So real quick in closing, I want to
Yeah.
say the negative things that happened in boxing were your Bernard Hopkins, okay, your Roy Jones Jr., and all these old guys. They really made a flop in 2016. And if you reverse it, that's a good thing. That's a good thing that happened in 2016 because we don't have to have these old fogies continue to control what we see on TV. And I'm saying because the Bernard Hopkins was a flop. Andre Ward was a flop as far as revenue for HBO. HBO, Showtime, and Premiere Network, the free TV, okay, these old guys, they realized one thing, and that's revenue. Bottom dollars. It didn't happen. So guess what? They're going to sweep them people under the counter. They're going to sweep them and go away, as they should go away. I mean, Mickey Rourke is saying now, he's saying he's going to come back and fight. You know, Mickey Rourke is 62 or more, whatever, however old he is, okay? And but Steve, I know we've gone past our time, but what do you give us a real quick? What do you think about that? I mean, I think it was a good thing.
I would agree with what you said, except for one thing. Like you said, Mickey Rourke. We thought we might have been done with him. He's going to come back and fight in Russia. Bernard Hopkins is clamoring for a rematch. Word on the street is saying now that that fight has been declared a no contest with he and Joe Smith. Roy Jones is on record saying that he's not done. So we haven't gotten rid of those guys. Manny Pacquiao says he's not done. So we haven't gotten rid of those guys, but hopefully.
But I think we got rid of them as far as being pay-per-view headliners on
I
HBO.
agree with that. I agree with
so
that.
they can go down and fight lower on maybe an ESPN card or
Yeah.
or a free TV card or something
Premier
like that.
Boxing Championship,
But as far as
something like that.
controlling the big game TV,
Yeah.
that's done. As a matter of fact, I think HBO, Showtime, the two majors, which are revenue-making majors, they really have to take a look at what they're going to do in 2017.
I agree with you 100%. I think that the Kovalev Ward pay-per-view numbers prove to them that nobody's paying pay-per-view fights anymore unless it really is a fight that has been built up and it really warrants that. That, if you remember, when I first came out and I wrote a piece where I said Kovalev and Ward is not pay-per-view worthy.
And you were
I
right.
took a lot of criticism for
You
that,
did,
but I was trying to get them to understand that there was no build-up to that. You know, Ward doesn't have, talk about somebody doesn't have a following outside of their country, their state. Andre Ward outside of Oakland, California.
Well, I was
Nobody
one
cares
that was a critic of you when you mentioned that. But,
Yeah.
you know, in hindsight, you were right. You were absolutely right, and the numbers side with you.
I want to end on that note. You heard him say it. I was right. That's the end of our segment for the good for 2016. We're going to come back in our next segment. We're going to approach the subject of what is highly anticipated for 2017 and some things we'd like to see happen in 2017.
There you go.
All right? On that note, Aurelio, what do we always do?
Keep them hands up.
Keep them up, baby.
All right.